Hello, and welcome to another episode of Catch Dog Concepts. This channel, we strive to continue to better our minds in dogs and inform others to the best of our ability when it comes to these dogs. We plan to not cause any controversy and maybe help somebody out any way we can. So thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned, and we'll be with you in a moment. What is up? What is up? What is up? We back. I ain't did an interview in a minute. Just been doing some videos, getting my feet wet, getting out there, connecting, doing different things behind the scene. But we back this week with Mr. John Mims, MimsK9. Let's let him up. What's going on?
I'm making it, man. You getting out and getting your feet wet a little bit, you said, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the name of the game, man. That's the name of the game.
Absolutely.
Give you this tip before we go any farther.
Okay.
Find people that talk your talk, walk your walk.
Okay.
And that you can understand what they're saying right away. Don't get caught up in the fluff and then get so caught up in it and then you be too far in and then you start putting out bad info or disliking people or liking people that you find 6 months from now, 4 months from now, turn around and burn you.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, find people that talk your talk and walk your walk.
Yes, sir. Okay. You starting out with some game already. I like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Out the gate, man. Out the gate. You got to go. Yeah. Got to go.
But yeah, I was just in Chicago. It was like a protection workshop. It was supposed to be a competition, but some things happened, so it just ended up being a workshop. People brought their dogs and just working on them, trying to get them better, learning. And like I said, I don't even got a dog yet, but I learned a lot, and I met some people too.
Who put the show on?
Oh, his name's Lamont Corleone. His dog is Colossal Mastiff. That's his dog's name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yep, he put it on. So yeah, shout out to him, man. It was a good time.
That's a good deal. Yeah, good deal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How soon before you get a dog? What you leaning towards?
So I want to get a South African Borbal. I just turned 19. I take my driving test next week. So then that's gonna be a step towards me getting my dog soon. And then I'm in between. I still got a job, but I'm about to get into my career soon too. So then I'll be able to take care of it properly and make sure I'm on top of everything.
That's right. Yeah. Well, you sound like you're getting off on the right foot. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But like South African Borbal, I'm a big Borbal fan. That's especially the Mastiff group as a whole. I really like them. I grew up with some, and I've owned one personally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, I've never had a lot of experience with them. Down south where I'm at in Louisiana, it's hot. That heat, man. I don't know necessarily how well they'll do in this kind of temperature in the summer like that. The winter, I don't think we don't get as cold as you guys up there in Michigan.
Oh yeah, we get cold.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But here with the heat, man, I don't know. You probably have to keep a fan or something out there on them if they're out in the yard or whatever. Or something like that. But yeah, I haven't had a lot of experience with them. A few. I remember I evaluated some for a guy about 11 years ago. They were pretty good. I kind of stimulated them a little bit, kind of get them going in the right direction. And then for some reason, the dogs, I don't know, it's some disease. I think that those dogs maybe have genetically or something like that. I've never heard, it took years and years before I heard somebody else even bring that up about that particular thing. And it's not parvo, but it's something that is similar to parvo, and it'll take them out rather quickly, from what I understand.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I've heard of it. I'm about to do my research.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it when that guy told me about it. The two dogs that I looked at, maybe a month later, they were gone. And it happens, whatever it is, it happens almost within 40 hours or something like that. It's rather quick when it hits them. I met Jordan up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
With his Borbals, I stopped by him. I dropped a couple of dogs off in Ohio, and I stopped by him coming out of Ohio and went over there and hung out with him for a few hours. Okay. Nice guy, got some nice dogs, man. But I haven't trained any. I started those two. We did a couple of classes just to kind of evaluate them, see where they was, but that was it. But they're not prevalent here at all. I don't remember hearing of anybody here that's got Borbals,
Right.
But that that's pretty new to the States, I would think, over the last 30 years, maybe.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, some people still don't even know what they are. This one
Some
woman I
people don't,
talked
yeah.
to, yeah,
And there's a lot of fad followers. A lot of people going to run to the
absolutely.
fad of them. Oh man, that's what it is. And some of them going to run think it's a money train, and then they'll screw them up just like they do every
Oh
other breed.
yeah. I
They'll,
mean, it's
they'll,
kind of
they'll
happening. Just like too heavy, too big, not functional. I mean, it's definitely happening and occurring now in the breed.
mhm, yeah. And it's sad that it's like that, but that's the way of the world, man.
Yeah,
You can't stop it. You can try to teach people and educate people on it and all that stuff. Even with the Borbos having that breed survey that they have to do in order, and I understand what the people are trying to do because they're trying to control that breed so it doesn't happen like all the other breeds
right.
where they get ruined by having that appraisal thing going on. But
Yeah,
should they just do the breeding and they don't register the puppies? They don't give a shit. Most of them that's doing it,
yeah,
they can do that and they can get $2,500 for a puppy without papers like that because it weighs 200 pounds. And let's just be real what it is. Most people down south
hmm,
are excited about size. They see a big dog,
yeah,
oh man, that's it. They just think that that's what everything needs to be on, or that's
right.
what they want, a big dog. There used to be a guy out here, an old guy had a guard dog service for, he probably ran that business 40 years. And he had a Kimbertall line Roddy. That Roddy had to wear, and this is 30 years ago, man. That
Yeah,
dog probably weighed 180, 200. He was long and he
wow.
was tall. He was a big dog, but he couldn't move.
Yeah,
He was limited.
right.
He run 10 yards, man. You think that some of us need oxygen mask on him, you know? So
Yeah,
what's the purpose? But people here, they see that size and then they just go crazy when they see big size
yeah,
like that, not the functionality of them.
right.
And I can understand the horrible people trying to keep that and preserve that in them, the working ability in them, and other masters, and stuff like that. They try to put that together. I understand it, and I think they're doing a good thing, but it's hard to control that,
Yeah,
in this
it
day and
is.
time. Hard to control it. Yeah,
For sure. And then
yeah.
some people, I think, like you said, it's a fad. A lot of people don't understand them dogs are rough, and then a lot of them aren't even accustomed to a lot of human direction. Of course, you can direct them, train them, and whatnot, but like for like the average owner, that like I own a Presa Canario, so I have experience somewhat with the bigger dog, but
hmm
somebody average they get like a 180-pound Borbal, and he feel like he want to do what he want to do. It's gonna be hard to control
And
him and
he's
take
built
care
like an Abrams tank.
yeah, yeah,
And they're hard to keep. When you try to tell people um, about dogs and keeping dogs, some dogs are hard to keep. They
yeah,
just, they chew on the kennel. They make it hard on your kennels. If the kennel will hold up a couple of months, because sometimes they'll go through a kennel in a couple of months. All of a sudden they're leaning on it. They just constantly laying up against it.
yeah,
Especially those little kennels from Tractor Supply where those little spot wells. Eventually they just start popping. You spray the
yeah,
pen out, the water, they start rushing up. So they last about 2 years and then that's it. Then some of those big dogs, man, they eat a lot,
yeah,
they
yeah. You're
poop a
right about
lot.
that. Yeah,
So you got to have the proper way to keep your food. You got to have some way to dispose of the poop
yeah,
and all that. And a lot of people, I don't think, take that into consideration when they're looking at these big dogs like that.
yeah.
So,
It's like a pig. I mean, I took care of pigs for I took care of them, showed them, and raised them for about 5-6 years. It's just like a pig, man, and like them bigger dogs. It's just the same thing, and it's a hard work too. You
yeah,
got to
oh
be
yeah.
knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to know. And you find somebody that can train them, that can help you train them or help keep you kind of going in the right direction. Because some of those dogs with that size, even the Corsos, the Feelers, the other big mastiff breeds, these English mastiffs, when they get stuck in a rut on what they want to do and they pick up these bad habits, some people aren't equipped to fix those problems or to
Yeah,
deal with those problems. Some
right.
trainers, I know a lot of trainers, the first thing they want to do is slap an e-collar on them.
Yeah,
And that's a whole nother story. I had a list, man. I had a list wrote down, and my wife cleaned up and she threw my list away. But that's another thing to get off into the e-collar. But a lot of people put an e-collar on a big dog like that, and then if they don't know how to use it, if your timing is bad with the e-collar, you mess a dog up, man. And some of
yeah,
those dogs are too too big to mess up. Because
Right.
if those dogs realize that you're the problem, you're the one that's creating that issue, that pain from that collar, I've seen them where they turn around and they'll deal with the owner. You
Yeah.
know, you out there in the yard, and I'm a big guy. I'm 6 feet. I'm about 260, 255.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to fight a dog like that that has more muscle than me, 4 feet as opposed to my two,
Right.
you
Lower to
know,
the
and all
ground.
those teeth and all that shit, man, that's a lot to deal with,
A
you
lot to
know?
handle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with, man.
It
And
is.
you try to educate people about those things when they want these big, mastiff breed dogs, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, they just see the size and that's what they want. They don't want to hear the other stuff until they run into a problem.
Right.
Oh, Mr. Bill Mims, can you help me out with this? Oh, man, I need this, you know, and all that kind of weird stuff, you know. I just had a family call me Wednesday this last week, and they got a rod. It's 4 months old, and they having problems already.
Wow.
Temperament. You know, I don't know how the dog's bred, but I gave him my price, told him what I can help him out with and stuff like that. And I said, you don't want to miss that prime window to set that stuff so deep in that dog's head
Yeah.
on the training, the do's and the don'ts. I said, if you call me back in 2 months, I'm not going to take the dog.
Right.
You know, I'm telling you now, it's going to be a problem. Then you're going
Yeah.
to wait till the problem gets there, then you'll call me and want help to fix it.
Right.
You know, when I told you ahead of time, you know, and then if I get the dog and try to straighten him out and get him going in the right direction, if they don't follow up on it, they'll blame me for it.
Right.
They'll never say that they didn't, oh, well, I'm not keeping mine up. They won't own up to that, but they'll own up to saying that I didn't train the dog. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. The owner or the handler has to be able to hold up their end of the bargain when it comes to you
Yeah.
fixing or working with the dog. They have to be able to do their part and keep instilling those things that you showed them or the dog into the dog.
Certainly, certainly. Now, let me back up right quick, Dave.
Okay.
So back to the intro. So I
Yeah.
just forgot to intro myself. So my name is John Mims. Online, you can find me at K9 Mims. I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My phone number is 225-200-9162. So I have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those channels. I got all that stuff.
Yep. And I
Been
got his
training dogs.
information. I got your information linked in the description too. So if
Okay,
anybody
sounds
wants to
good.
copy
Sounds
it,
good. So I've been training dogs. You hear a lot of trainers that get on here, they'll say, oh, I've been training dogs all my life. And you kind of find out they've been training dogs 8 years, and they say that's all their life, I guess. I don't know. But I can remember, and I grew up hard, man. I grew up in the projects, and we wasn't allowed to have dogs. But because my mom had connections with people that ran the city, you know, I didn't get a lot of flack when I bought a dog home or I bought a
Yeah.
hamster home. When I bought snakes home, I had fish tanks all over every dressing in the room, and I had all kinds of stuff, man.
Wow.
And dealing with dogs one way or another, I've been dealing with them. So my experience is vast. I consider my knowledge to be very deep because I put in the time. I'm 55 years old. I can't remember many times that I didn't have a dog
Right.
in some form or fashion. Sometimes we would have dogs that were lit too much to keep in the house. A lady that grew up around the corner from me used to let me keep my dogs over at her house.
Okay.
So the experience I have is in obedience, whether it be pet obedience, competition obedience, just regular everyday people obedience, stuff like that. Protection work, scent work. I'm not saying recent, but it's been a few months ago. As far as the scent work goes, I just did a dog for a research facility where I taught the dog to sniff skin cancer.
Wow. Okay.
And that was the dog made it easy,
Yeah.
but because the dog he was that good. He was just real good. He had a real deep nose that can find the very smallest of odors, stuff like that. So the police dogs, I sell police dogs, been doing that. I've had them working from down in Mexico on the border up to Washington State, out to New York, Connecticut, all the way down to Miami. So
Yeah.
cover all four sides, all 4 points all four corners, rather, of the United States. I've had dogs that actually went back over to different little Puerto Rico, couple of islands, St. Croix, St. Thomas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my training experience is vast. And now that's on I guess, kind of professional side. But then on the side where the growing up in the hood kind of thing, of course, we
Mhm.
did all kinds of things, all kind of training. I can remember we used to have, me and some other guys, 3 or 4 guys, we used to have little competitions. We would all have a dog by a certain date. We would say, okay, we all need a dog by this date. Okay, by this date, we're going to have this little competition. It was just amongst us 4. And,
Yeah.
we 12, 13 years old, 11 years old. And I would always run circles around them with the little competition that we do. Then I take their dog in 2 weeks. I give them my dog. They'll screw my dog up and I'll fix their dog when
Wow.
we come back in a couple of weeks, stuff like that. But it was crazy, man. But just learning the ins and outs on dog training. So as I got older, when I got out of high school, and I was able to start traveling and meeting people. So I'd go here, go to seminars here, go to a dog trial here, meet somebody that's training for a certain different sport here, different places. I may take a little bit from this guy, 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 and I put my program together. And I used to watch a lot of videos back in the day, and I mentioned his name, and some people never heard of the man name. It's called Baton K9.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Mr. Mike has been training dogs probably 50 plus years.
Wow.
And I used to order videos from him, and I'd sit there and watch those tapes and watch them and watch them and watch them and watch them. Some other, can't even remember some of the other people, but I had stuff and videos from Europe and different countries. I'd sit there and just study that stuff and study and study and study. And I would see a technique used on a certain dog, and I'd take that, and I may not use that technique for a year or 2, but I may train a dog, and man, for some reason this dog ain't getting this move. He ain't getting it or whatever. I've tried this, I tried that, I tried this. And then that little idea that I saw a year ago on the tape, and I'm telling you, this is way, way years ago, 40 years ago, 35 years ago, whatever. And I said, oh, let me try it like this. And then I try that, and boom, the light goes off in the dog's head, and then it works.
Right.
So being a trainer, being an all-around trainer, you have to learn to create a library, a mental library. You learn stuff from different people, and some of that stuff you just know is just bullshit. I can spot it a mile away. I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. It's just what it is. Some people may look at stuff. They may look at something I do and say, "Man, that's bullshit." But if they sit there long enough and watch it, I guarantee you, sooner or later they'll run across where they'll need that technique they see me do.
Yeah.
So you just kind of put your system together, what fit your training skills, what you learn, and then what you develop over the years. You may learn something one way, and through working with 4 or 5 different dogs, 10 dogs over the years, you'll develop that skill you learned in one way. You'll learn to develop that skill, so now it has a little curve to that skill.
Right.
If that makes sense. But it's the same principle. But sometimes you have to learn to curve that thing, but don't get way out of the lane. You stay close to the original, but eventually it'll work, I met some of the biggest name people in training. I've trained with a lot of them. I went talk to them. I call them on the phone a lot. Me and these guys, we have relationships that span 30 years. Some of them have died that I used to talk to all the time about training ideas.
Right.
For military guys, I met a military guy many, many years ago. He's the one that turned me on the malinois. I didn't know what a malinois was until I met this guy.
Yeah.
And he introduced me to the malinois, and I just took it and ran with it. So I've been breeding malinois 28 years.
Wow.
I've been breeding Dutch Shepherds about 15 of those 28 years.
Okay.
So a lot of people, when I started with malinois, a lot of people, they didn't know what it was. I'd take the dogs out. He used to try to tell me it was a German Shepherd. Man, get to, you don't know. But a lot of people here with malinois, and a lot of people different places too, but it's mostly here that have malinois now in different parts of the state here. I've heard of them. Some of them I haven't heard of, but I can guarantee they heard about me. But they won't call to talk and to try to pick my brain to get some help, because these it's just the way things go now. These young people come in and they think their ideas, oh, we're going to do it like this. We're going to do it like, and then you see them 2 or 3 weeks later, they got a bandage where they've been bit. They got their arm where they've been bit up, or, something happened, or they may last a year or 2. And then they hit the ground running fast, but then they burn out. Because and that has to do with the malinois and the business side of dog training.
Yeah.
It's hard to put those two together and to make it work. And I
Right.
tell people all the time, when you can train dogs and you got the business side of it and you can make that stuff mesh, you'll be in business a long time and you do the right thing.
Right.
Some people get in and they breeding shit dogs and they putting out shit dogs and they'll take off fast. And then you give them a year or two and then here they crash and you talk to them, they got out of dogs.
That's one thing. People I talk to, not like on the internet really, it's like in person people, they be like, man, like they tell me, man, get this dog, you need to get a dog so you can breed it. I'm like, for what though? Like I don't think I want to go. I don't want to jump right into that.
No.
I want to own a dog, get some experience. I'll probably start training with it too, just to see if I can see what I can get from the breed or from the dog.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn different things before I get into breeding. Breeding will happen once I'm established fully in life, probably. And it won't be for like the public or anything. It'll be for myself or for my business at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of people, man. Like I said, that's where you take the stuff you can use. The rest of the stuff you throw out. You
Yeah.
know, you just go in one ear, come out another ear. You know,
Right.
because a lot of these people, they don't have it right, but they think they have it right. To the
Yeah.
person that's on the outside looking in, and we see him, you know, we can pick holes to him. And me and some of these older guys that I talk to, we've been doing it so long, we've seen tons and tons of these people come and go. And you give them about 4 years, 5 years max, and they're done.
Wow.
You know, they're done. I talked to one guy, and this was probably 15, 18 years ago, his name, Chris Sputnik.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, a lot of people didn't like the guy, but he's still doing dogs. I think he's in Connecticut. I just happened to pick the phone up one day and I called him. I said, hey, Chris, what's going on? And he must have saw my name come over his caller ID. And goddamn Mims and you, sir. And he was so excited to hear it. And I said, man, you remember me? He said, how can I forget you? Because years ago, Jay, before Facebook, before Instagram, and all these social media things, there used to be just message boards where you would have to, I can't remember quite the process, but I know like you used to get those disposable video cameras.
Yeah.
Now, this may be before you were born too.
No,
You're
my
19
grandmother,
years.
she had one. My
So you
grandmother
get
had
these
one.
cameras, you video it, you take it back to like CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid. They send it off and they get it back, or you get it back on a DVD or something like that, or CD or whatever it was, and you'd have the link. Where that message board, you go and you put your link on there. People go watch your videos and then they come back on the message and then they start, you know, trying to beat you up on stuff and say all kinds. That's
Yeah.
how far some of this stuff goes back, even before. Hell, this is before cell phone for the most part
Wow.
was even in existence. But you get a lot of people, man, that don't understand how deep some of these things go, and then they don't want to take time to learn from older guys. Mr. Mark Lima, Mark Lima was in that right outside of Atlanta. I met Mr. Mark probably 25 years ago. To be safe, 25 years ago. That man's been fooling with malinois probably 40 years. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't even, and I'm telling you, before I found out, I didn't even know what never heard of a malinois before I met the guy when I started breeding them 28 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of older guys. Don Mega,
Mm-hmm.
Don's out of Chicago. He's been on the NWJ. Me and him has done a podcast together on there.
Yeah. I didn't
I
know Don
take,
was in Chicago.
huh?
I didn't know Don was in Chicago.
Yeah, he grew up in Chicago. Well, he was
Okay.
out there for a long time. Then he moved out. He was out in Arizona for a long time.
Got you.
Yeah, hell of a trainer. So sometimes, you know, talking to older guys, you can get a better idea. You can kind of sift through some of the stuff. You get an idea of what to listen to, what not to listen to. You know, what fits your skill level. That's why I don't criticize a lot of people's videos, because I don't know the level where their dog is. I don't know their level. I can get a damn good idea by looking at the video, whether it's the
Right.
dog or them, you know, just from watching the video. Not
Yeah.
everybody can do that. And I'm not saying I'm one in a few, but kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
You know, if we've been doing this for 40 plus years, man, we can look, you just got to, you can look at some
You know
stuff
what
and
to look
tell.
for, right.
You know, I've evaluated a lot of dogs where I go up to the guy's place and just give you an idea over all the years that I've been training and a lot of these other guys. What we look for in a dog, it may take you 5 years to start picking up on that stuff. 6 years, 10 years. Whereas when I walk up in 5 minutes, I can tell if a dog is barking to say, "Hey, leave me alone," or if a dog is barking to say, "I'll tear your ass if I can get over there to you."
Yeah.
You know, just from the bark, you can tell those things. The body posture can tell, "Yo, man, you just acting like you want to do something. You're not going to do nothing." You
Right.
know, I can look at a dog and tell if he's been doing table work because he'll be over anxious to try to scare me off or try to bite me. You know, I tell
What's the
guys,
point of table work? If
huh?
you what's the point of table work? What does it do for the dog?
Everybody's got a little difference in table work. Scientifically, now here's where I differ from a lot of other trainers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the scientific side of some of this stuff because the dog has no idea what science is anyway.
Right. Yeah.
The dog knows he's just doing what he's genetically programmed to do.
Right.
People put names and labels on this stuff to make it seem like they know more than they do or to make themselves sound more important. If I break things down in the simplest form to me and you talking, if
Mm-hmm.
I start saying certain things, you're not going to understand it. You may
No.
not, you may not. You're not going to know it. You don't
Right.
know that. I drove trucks for years. If I start telling you about air brakes and the pressure on air brakes and
I'm gonna look at you crazy.
look at me crazy. So
Yeah.
when it comes to dogs, um, you know, it's almost the same thing. But it's table work is used. A lot of guys use table work.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to kind of dumb it down without giving away too much. If you got a dog that's average
Mm-hmm.
and he's biting the tug, I'm telling you while he's on the ground, you dragging the flirt pole and all that, he's good, he's okay. But if you want to bump him up a notch, now you put him on that table and he can't get nowhere and he's lunging and he's right at the end of that table and his feet is about to come off that table. When he grabs that sleeve, he's not going to want to let go because he thinks he's coming off the table.
Right.
And it makes a dog more defensive than offensive.
Okay.
But if you listen to other people, they'll tell you just the difference. Scientifically, I would think that when you put a dog on the table, we're eye to eye level now.
Confidence. Yeah.
Confidence thing.
Right.
When he's on the floor, on the ground, and I'm standing up, I'm
And over.
intimidating. So he's looking
Yeah.
up like this.
Right.
You know, so there's a difference. Now you put him on the table, now you're eye to eye, so he has a little bit more confidence like that. But the way I was taught to do, to get without the table, I
Mm.
get out on my knees and on the ground, and I'll do the same thing that I do standing up.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem. When some dogs are up on that table and they're eye to eye, and when you take them off that table and try to do the same thing, if you know what you're looking at, you'll see the dog has a step backwards. Because
Mm.
now he has to readjust to you being back, standing up over him, and the dominant looking thing. And some people won't see that. Some people just don't. They don't understand that. They don't think that that's true. But if you look at a video longer, you'll see it. You
Right.
know, but putting that dog on that table, it builds frustration. It makes the dog crazy. And then most people that do it, they're trying to turn them up a notch or two, if that makes sense. You know, they
Yeah.
want to take them from a 5 to a 10. Well, put him on the table and you set that pepper his legs with that goddamn whip. Then some bitch, he's gonna do one or two things. He's gonna turn over and piss on himself, and he's gonna bite you before you bite him,
Right.
before you hurt him, rather, or
Yeah.
before you hit him with the whip. So my question to guys like that is this: when they use the table or they use a whip. Now, I'm not against anything that I'll say on this pod, some of these techniques. I'm not totally against it because there may be certainly a time and place for these things, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But when you put a dog on a table and you get him used to that, to me, you're giving a lot of dogs a false sense of security
Yeah.
because now they're on the table and you had to build him up you had to make him have courage.
Right.
You should have the courage on the ground before you put him on the table. If you're going to use a table, you use a table work to take him up a notch or two, not build him up
Right.
a notch or two.
Yeah.
That's my opinion,
Okay.
you know. So
I see what you're saying.
there's
Yeah.
some other people may think different, but
Right.
I've used the table, man, maybe 5 times in my career.
Mm.
And that was dogs that were going to departments to like downtown Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
Boston, downtown Boston. These had to be
They had to be
Hellacious dogs, they
right,
had to come out the car looking for a motherfucker to bite.
right,
You know, so dogs like that you need at 140%.
right.
You know, you don't need him at 70 and hoping he'll do the job.
Yeah,
You know, so it's things like that. You know, some of that stuff, that table work. You know, it gives a dog a false sense of security, gives the trainer a false sense of accomplishing something because he put the dog on the table. You know,
right.
now if you're working with a decoy that isn't as strong, that you kind of he's still in that molding phase and learning phase of doing decoy work, and
Yeah,
you're not sure of him or the owner of the dog, if the owner's handling the dog where he can't restrain the dog, yeah, you back time or put him on the table as some insurance
right.
kind of thing. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of different reasons people use table works. A lot of I can accomplish the same thing you do on the table I can do on the ground.
yeah,
You know, so that's just kind of one of those things with the table. You know, I'm
yeah.
not a big fan of it. You
And
know,
I learned that during like training, protection training, bite work, whatever you want to say, like a dog will talk to you like about its confidence level or where it's at or what its thinking is. It'll get the yiping and barking real loud, basically saying, man, he's not moving, he's not going anywhere. So what do I do now? I'm gonna just keep barking. Hopefully he gets away from me.
right?
And he lets you know where his head is at.
Yeah. Well, that runs into this thing here where a dog barks a lot.
Yeah,
I never ever want my dog to waste more energy on barking than waste that energy on biting your ass.
right.
Use that energy to put them teeth in somebody. Don't
Yeah,
use that energy sitting there barking. And these
right.
guys want the dog to bark a lot. Now, if it's Schutzen, where the dog runs in the blind and he's standing there barking, and they want a rhythmic bark, I think is what they're looking for.
Yeah,
Not so much how loud it is. They want a rhythmic bark. They want a certain rhythm to it. Then the decoy pops the sleeve up. But to me, when it comes to real world applications, um, as less barking as possible, more biting as possible.
yeah,
That's what I'm looking for.
right.
They wait. These guys, they waste a lot of energy. Dogs sitting there spinning in circles and wasting a lot of energy. No, no, no. Take that. Use that energy on putting them teeth in somebody.
Right.
Put some teeth in somebody's ass. You know.
Yeah,
And the sport people, I understand. That's the sport side of it. I understand that, man. I've only competed in two trials or whatever. It was a K9 pro sport trial. I didn't even know what the routine was. I went to
mm,
College of Mississippi. They had a trial back when these message boards was up, and it was on one of the message boards. It was in Wiggins, Mississippi. I went to school in Perkinston, Mississippi, 5 minutes down the road. I said, shit, I know where that's at. 2 hours, 2.5 hours away. Said, well, hell, I'll go to the trial. I took my dog, didn't know what was needed, what was required, didn't know anything about the competition, you
wow.
know. And I went, and then Continental Kennel Club, the C.D.C, they're based about 25 minutes from here. They had a little show they put on, and I know the guy that owns that kennel club, so he asked me to bring the dog out there and compete with them. And they had some couple of police officers there. But other than that, man, I don't participate in sport. I'll go
Yeah,
and support people that do it, friends of mine that do it. I'll go and support them. Mark, like I say, Mark Lean was 6 hours. He does practical protection dogs is the name of his sport.
okay.
I'll drive all the way up there, go sit out there. Me and my wife go out there, man, and have a ball. Spend the whole weekend out there talking, meeting people, networking, and all that good stuff. But I'm not a competition guy. I don't like the clique that's involved when you're coming into these competitions.
Right.
You know, PSA, one of the biggest cliques you can ever find is with the PSA club.
Yeah,
You know, Schützen people think they sitting high and they look down on everybody else.
wow.
You know, I don't know a lot of ring sport people. Just never clicked with them. You
Right.
know, not saying that they don't have good dogs or they don't know what they done. Just never really my thing. Had bad enough experience with Schützen people and the PSA people.
Yeah,
You know, to learn that ain't my cup of tea. But
right.
I'll go if they got a trial close enough and I'm free that weekend. I'll go just to sit there and watch, and I
Yeah,
may pick up something watching somebody do. Oh, I can use that move later. I'll put
right.
that in that mental library and I'll keep it. You know, um, so that it's a dog training, and when you get out and you meet these people, you're gonna hear different stories, different things from people at different levels of training. You know, you're gonna hear people in different sections of training. You got some people that only do sport, and they think the sport dog can do personal protection stuff. Then you got just the opposite.
Yeah.
Then you got different level of sport. Different. Some of the people are real high level sport dog people, and you got hood trainers, as they call it, hood trainers, as they, neighborhood trainers, so they call it.
Yeah.
Have some of the dogs will, man, eat you from your ass to your appetite.
Yeah.
But a dog like that in the hood, the ghetto, or whatever they want to call it, some of those dogs are dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous dogs, man. They too wired up, they too amped up to do any kind of sport with because they have no structure.
Right.
There's no structure to it, but then you got some of the PSA people, because if you're not clicked up with it, how can that, and this is what I always wanted to ask some of these people that's in PSA. That sport's been around probably over 20 years now, I think. Probably well over 20 years, 20-something years now.
Okay.
Or 20, 22, 23, or whatever. How can you only have less than 20 dogs that pass level 3?
Wow.
How? What's so hard about that sport if it's not clicked up? You have to pass the level 3, I think even the level 2, 2 times in front of 2 different judges in order to get that title.
Wow.
So there's a story that goes around, big name trainer out, and I don't mind telling certain things because some of this stuff in the dog world needs to be told.
Okay. All right. Let it out,
Train
Mr.
out in
Mims.
Dallas, trains a lot of professional people dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Charges an astronomical amount of money for the basics of shit. I'm talking about, he sells, basic obedience $6,000 for basic obedience, $5,000 for basic obedience. Get the fuck out of here, man. Anyways, people like him, he had a dog and he campaigned this dog like a son of a bitch. He bred that dog till his nuts probably fell off. I don't know if the dog's still living or not. Wow. But he passed the first leg. He failed the second leg from what I understand. And if I'm wrong behind what somebody else say. So, but I tried to talk to the guy one time. Didn't even have the decency to call me back.
Wow.
Different kind of, just a different dude. I guess I'm not on his level, so he say, I guess. But from what I heard, he failed it twice, and then he had to wait until a trial came along where he was friends with the judge that was judging a level 3, and it was in a more like a closer to him area where they trialed that, and then he passed it in front of the other judge. How can you fail it in front of these other judges and pass it in front of this one?
Wow.
Some cliquish shit going on. That's just kind of what it is. That's what I see it. Yeah. And a lot of other people see it, but a lot of people are scared to say it.
Right.
I tell people all the time, if I'm saying too much or saying something that ain't right, I may have heard it from somebody else. And if they don't like what I'm saying, come punch me in my mouth and make me stop saying it.
Right.
Hey, that just is what it is. And I guarantee that ain't the way they want to do it. You know. But that sports stuff, man, is real cliquish. The routines that they do, some of that theatrical shit that they do, stuff that don't make any sense, that will never, ever happen. Even the guys that train protection dogs or, they don't do the sport training, but they do protection dogs. Some of that over-exaggerated shit, all that theatrics, all that kind of stuff. And here's my comment to that stuff and my remarks to that stuff. If I send my dog on you and he can only bite right here, you got a dog that's a liability.
Why is that? Explain.
How many dog bites have you seen or heard of on the street where the guy said, here, bite me right here?
None.
Most dog bites are going to happen like this.
Yeah.
Because when the police send him on him, or the real world, when it happens, the guy's running, he's trying to get over a fence to get away from your dog. Or when the police officers get a guy and he's under a house, he's hiding somewhere under the house, and the dog might see his back. I got a picture. I should have sent it to you, let you post that shit. I sold the dog to this apartment. The guy sees the guy under the trailer.
Yeah.
This dog was on the street about 4 months when this happened. And the guy's looking at him. He said, man, come from under the trailer before I send the dog. Dog sitting there just firing off. Rah, 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 rah. he sees the guy that got no pants on, so he sees that the back of that calf muscle sitting right there. Man, you got on a blue shirt and blue shorts.
street
Come on
meat.
from under the trailer. You don't
Yeah.
want to come from under the trailer. Dog he said, pew, that dog grabbed the back of that guy calf muscle, man, and opened that shit up about that wide, dude.
Oh man.
Just, not one that just, I don't know, man. Some of these people are just, I don't know. But anyways, so no, it was no theatrics. There's no pocket for the dog to bite. In real life, it's going to be a surprise bite because the dog gonna surprise just some of them. You ever talk to some dog, be talking to a guy, and then the dog is sitting there, and all of a sudden the dog start growling at you, or all of a sudden the dog takes a snap at you for no reason.
Yeah. I got attacked about a week ago. Yeah. So
Come on.
yeah.
Simple as that is. That's how some of the stuff happens.
Right.
It doesn't happen where the dude does like this. There's a video. Mike Sutters put a video up, and the guy out of D.C. area named calls himself Malinois Sam. They have videos where they got a suit on, and they send the dog on him, and he's got his arms like this. So the dog runs up and runs around him because he's used to biting right here, having that target presented to him.
Yeah.
So he's clocked up like this. So once he opens up, then the dog jumps in the pocket.
Wow.
The guy outs him. He backs off. He folds up again. He says, send him back. The dog doesn't know what to do. So what good is a dog like that? And this was, he told me, the dog, you can be a police dog, man. You get somebody killed. You want an officer to put his life on the line with a dog like that? I don't want to, I'm not going to put my life on the line with a dog like that,
Right.
So there's a difference in protection dogs, sport dogs. The different sports require different things. Ring sports, they only want the dogs to bite the leg bites. They can't. In fact, I want to say one of the sports when they train it, they don't even have a jacket on. They just have the bite pants.
Yeah.
Just different things.
I've seen that.
That's all. That's why, because they only teach leg bites.
Right.
Okay. So it's a difference of what people like doing, what people enjoy. I like training personal protection dogs and police dogs. I like scent dogs, doing scent work. If I get a dog young enough, I can almost make any dog do scent work if I get him young enough and start him going the right way. Wow. And and I'm battling genetics with some of them. But that's if you get them young enough, if I get my hands on them young enough, I can make them do it. And that's the stuff that I like. The sports stuff, I just don't like the sport dog people. I don't like the rules they got. I don't like the clicks they got. I'm not cliquish. I tell people all the time, when I jumped off the boat training dogs, I jumped by myself. Nobody jumped with me. So I'm not going to click up with nobody. So that's some of you clickers. That's some of the most backstabbing son of bitches you'll find anyway.
Yeah.
You
got a point.
So when it comes down to dog training, man, the more realistic, and this is just my opinion on a lot of stuff, it doesn't matter what you do. The more realistic and the more simplified you can make things, the better off you'll be, the better off your dog will be. The better your dog will be prepared for what's coming. If you send your dog on me, I don't care what kind of dog it is. If your dog is biting me and I can pick him up, like you see some of those guys throw him up on the wall, got shit hitting him with stuff the whole time.
Yeah.
I ain't the only one said this, but that is the biggest line of bullshit in the world. If my dog ain't biting you hard enough to make you cry and yell and scream and to get this motherfucker off me.
Right.
So let alone having time to do something at best, Jay. If a dog bites you on the leg, you got a knife, you may be able to stab. But those are so few and far between, till it's almost non-existent.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about that. You hear about those dog bites on the street. And when I talk to people that train real protection dogs, personal protection dogs, and police officers.
Yeah.
I don't listen to all these other guys because half the time it's all bullshit.
Right.
The bites. Or it's mistake bites. Like what Tupac said, the accident murder. The accident bite.
Yeah.
So the stuff like that, man, I don't listen to. Some people ask me, well, John, who do you talk to? Who do you listen to? Who you get your advice from? Well, I don't get no advice nowadays from many people because there's not many people my age that's still doing it.
Right.
You know, but where I take criticism from is people that's my age or older or that's been doing it as long as me.
Yeah.
Don Mega told me something one day, and it took probably a month or so before it sunk in on what he told me. If Don called and tell me, John, I don't give a shit, you doing that wrong. I'm gonna say, well, what am I doing wrong? Don, tell me so I can fix it.
Right.
And okay, John, I'll use you for instance. If you call me or Joe, NWA podcast, my buddy, if Joe said, John, you doing that wrong, I'm gonna listen to him. Not because Joe knows more, you know more, because we're friends. And I
Right.
can say, what do you see wrong with it? I might be able to point it out to make it make sense to you, make it make sense to Joe
Right.
or somebody else. But if Don says, man, you doing that all fucked up, that's wrong. Okay, Don, tell me what it is. I'm gonna go work on it.
Right.
Because his experience level, what he's done in the dog game.
Yeah.
You know, some of these older people, man, they have a different understanding. We have a different understanding of what we're looking at and where we're trying to go and where we can help people go to get there, you know.
Right.
Not saying some of the sport dog people don't, because some of them started off as protection dog people, personal protection people, and then they just kind of drifted towards sport work.
Mm.
But those people soon forget what personal protection is, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Personal protection is the dog is to protect my person. Can I send that dog? No, you can't. Legally, you can't send the dog.
Right. I just
But
posted a
most
video
states,
about that.
yeah, most states is a 6 foot leash. And then some states, they just say a leash. It doesn't say how long. 6
Right.
foot, 4 foot, 20 foot.
Yeah.
Doesn't say. But you invade my personal space. I don't have to tell my dogs to bite you.
Yeah.
The situation tells my dog to bite you.
Right.
Prime example. You know, I don't know if you ever heard some guy say, "Oh, I don't want my dog to bite without me telling him." Have
I've
you ever
heard that
heard?
before. Yeah.
Okay, Jay, what happens if somebody sneak up behind you, punch you, and knock you out?
And I don't, and if I've trained a dog to not bite without me telling, I'm asleep.
You out. Yeah, you
I'm
wake
out of
up
there.
in la la land. Your dog
Yeah.
just sitting there looking crazy.
Yeah.
But if me and you are talking and my dog is standing there looking at you, he won't take his eyes off you.
Yeah.
Period. Now I don't care if we stand there and talk 2 hours. He'll look at you for 2 hours. Now,
Right.
your voice elevates. My dog stands up and he stands between me and you. To
That's
me,
a protection dog.
that's personal protection to the
Right.
highest form.
Yeah.
Because the dog is trained to get between me and the danger. You know,
Absolutely.
and if we're talking and your voice gets high and you reach over there too fast, I don't have to tell him. That's an aggressive move. You
Yeah.
dog bit, motherfucker. Just the bottom line. You dog bit.
Right.
That's personal. You've invaded my personal space.
Yeah.
And most of the laws is 6 foot. It's personal space.
Right.
Joe on NWA podcast, and I'm not trying to jump yours off to his, but
Oh no, I ain't tripping.
he had an attorney on, and that attorney got down to the nitty gritty. If a dog bite happens, what he was going to do to people. He's going after money that you got in the edge of in the pillar of the couch.
Wow.
He want everything. Money you got hid, money you got coming in the future or something. He want all that. You know, so when you train a protection dog, a personal protection dog, man, I got video upon video upon video upon video. 20-something, I had a house fire. I had more videos on VHS tapes. When DVDs first started coming out and all that shit started coming out, I lost so much video in the fire. I had to rebuild up some of the stuff, you know. But legally, man, that has always been my knock against a lot of people that's training protection dogs, sport dogs, period. When you learn the legal side of this shit, like that lawyer came on Joe's podcast and said, when you start realizing that the little stuff I do got, I want to keep it.
Right.
I don't want my dogs or a dog I train to have a bad bite and they sue and they try to come after me and take every little thing I got. I don't want that. So I'd rather be in the good. Every video session I have of a personal protection dog, I start videoing from day one to the day we're done. And then tune-up classes. You know, so each state is specific now, Jay, on what the liability factor when it comes to training a protection dog, how liable you are, if the bite is right, if they justify it. to some degree, you're going to be liable. It takes a lot of convincing a jury that your liability is this much.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to the way some of these guys train. I asked these guys, you ever seen them where they train the dog behind a fence? They teach the dogs to jump over the fence?
Yeah.
Get somebody. What's the purpose of that?
I mean, that's not realistic unless
That it
you
ain't
ready to go to
realistic. And
jail. Yeah.
here's the problem. A lot of the guys do it. If you look at the video, they got a whip where you got the dog, they're hitting him across his leg. They got the dog so wound up. Then they go run, and the dog comes over the fence, right? And it makes the bite.
Yeah.
This shit looks good on video. It looks good to somebody that don't know.
Right.
But here's the problem to somebody like me, somebody that's thinking about this stuff, somebody that's been in the business a long time.
Yeah.
But little kids walking down the street with a bat and a ball, him and his buddies, and that dog's running loose in the backyard, and he can see him on the side of the house. That dog will say, man, what you getting ready to do with that bat in your hand?
Right.
The dog doesn't associate those kids with the bat. He just knows you got something in your hand. I remember the last time I saw this, it was bringing a problem to me. So I'm going to deal with this shit. You taught that dog to jump over the fence. Now that dog goes over the fence and runs the neighborhood kids, run them ragged or bites a couple of them.
Yeah.
Man, you getting sued, your grandkids getting sued and all kind of shit. Dude, I couldn't sleep like that.
Yeah.
If you're not training a police dog, why are you teaching a dog to go over a fence?
Right.
I ask a lot of trainers that. Why are you teaching that, man? You're setting yourself up for failure. Oh, man, that's that's bullshit. Until one of you jokers get sued or get some kid hurt, get his face bit off or disfigure that kid because you taught a dog to go over the fence, or because you know, some of these trainers, they spin these dogs so tight. And what I mean by that is they do so much frustration work with them. They have these dogs so tight, and those dogs get out, and when they bite these kids or bite people they're not supposed to, it's not just one bite.
They letting them have it.
It's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
They biting them all over the place.
Right.
And they taking all that frustration out on that, as opposed to training for the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's different, man. And it's training the dog with balance is what it is. The dog has to be stable and balanced. My dog, my personal Dutch Shepherd got killed. He died, I don't know, maybe close to a year ago now. But if he got out of the yard, they can be 100 people outside. Man, he just going about his business, do whatever he could, because the situation ain't presenting itself for him to defend me.
Right.
Outside the yard is different. Now, in that yard, you coming in, your ass in trouble.
Yeah.
That's a different situation.
Right.
If I go out with him and we walking through and everything's fine.
Right.
But if the situation presents itself for him to defend me, he does it without me telling him.
Yeah.
You know, because I may not always see the problem coming.
Right.
You know, before me and you talking, Jay, you try to do me something, your body's going to put off adrenaline odor. You're going to get a little hype.
Right.
The dog, you train the dog to pick up on shit like that.
You can train a dog to do that? I ain't know that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You can train the dog. The dog picks up on that hype sense of euphoria or whatever it is. Your body puts off some fear odor, testosterone odor, something gets stronger, and the dog picks up on these things, you know. And I'm kind of talking around it without giving out too much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
But it's a lot of ways, man. You can train dogs to serve the purpose without having them spent that tight with it, not comfortable.
Right.
You know, when I say stable, I'll tell you how stable my dogs are that I train. When me and my wife first started dating and we got married, we moved together. When we first moved together, I used to go out and she'd be in here talking trash, and I'd go get I say, wait a minute, I got something for you. I'd go outside and I'd get my dog, I'd bring him in here, and she'd be on the couch and I'd make him fire up on her.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, it ain't no, it's life and death, because Dad said go.
Right.
You know, I said go, so you go. I don't care who it is. And I'm talking about, I said, okay, that's it, man. Go love on mama. He'd go there, he'd make her love on him. Just that switch, just that life
stability.
That stability when you can do that. Right. You know, If I had to leave the house, leave town, and she can't decide to keep him in the house, he'd defend her with everything in him.
Yeah.
You know, stability. Kids can come here, man, put their hand in his mouth, do whatever, put their hand in his ear, whatever. And if I put the leash on, I hook him up, or either I just call him to a heel. And I tell him, watch her, a kid. And they just got through playing with him. That ass is grass, dude.
Yeah.
That ass is grass.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, some people say, oh, that dog ain't trained. That dog will hurt a kid. That dog will hurt this goddamn TV remote.
If I tell him to.
If I tell him to, because daddy said go.
Yeah.
A bite is a bite. Doesn't matter who it is, where it is, when it is. You know, but stability, and you don't get that in a year. You don't get that in 6 years. That every dog is different. That's time and training and training and I spent hours with my dogs. Hours. I let them out in the back. I just sit on the step. I posted a video a couple of months. I had a white shirt on. By the time I came in, that shirt was dingy brown, dingy, dirty.
Yeah.
I just let them crawl all over me, man, and love on them and make friends and we bonding and everything else. You know, now something that jumps off into this. Some people say, "Oh, I know my dog will defend me because we bonded together." Are you sure about that?
Mm.
No. I've seen that happen too many times. That dog, he might act like he want to do something, but he ain't. Me spending time with my dogs like that, and even dogs I train, I teach my clients to spend as much time as possible. Not just go out and let them run around here. Sit down, love on them, pet on them. Make them dogs understand you're a part of me, I'm a part of you.
Right.
So when you start training the dog takes all that in when it becomes a part of the training.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to a dog just going crazy. You think a dog bites you? This one of the tests, and I'll give this away. A lot of dogs have their dogs trained, so-called professionally protection trained. I walk up, no equipment, don't know anything. I say, sit in your dog. What do you mean? I said, sit him. You said your dog was trained. You said he's a protection dog. Send him at me.
Mm.
Oh, no, it don't work like that. Well, whoever trained your dog, they just got over on you. Because you don't know what you were looking at. They didn't know what they were doing. When you said go, that dog's supposed to go.
Right.
And go through anything, around anything, under anything, over it, through it, under, whatever. Go means go.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the things that a lot of these guys, they want to get in front of the dog. They got to dance and do all that to fire the dog up and all that shit. A dog biting a passive person is the hardest bite in the world, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I'm not agitating them. I'm not pissing the dog off. The dog has to bite something that's just there. Get it?
Yeah.
Some dogs, they not going to do it. They don't have the mentality to do it. And the guys don't know how to train the dog to do that. You know? If you ever saw the video where the guy was on the couch with his little chihuahua and he's talking and he says, okay, watch this. And he whispers in the dog, and that little dog go crazy.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Man, now, I learned something from that guy, from that video. You don't have to yell and scream. Well, I've been teaching this, but to tell a dog to bite, or however you say it, the word has to have a meaning.
Right.
I'll send you the video. It's pinned on my TikTok. Well, I tell the guy, I lean over, I said, just tell the dog in his ear, get it. Just say it low. You can't even hear it on the video. Get it. That dog come out, ping, he's on the back tie on the fence. And he tries to jump right in my chest. I'm just standing there. I said, tell him. As soon as he tells me, the dog reacts. There should be no hesitation. Shouldn't be, the dog shouldn't say, let me think about this shit. Oh, I don't see no sleeve. I don't see a whip. I don't see nothing to cue the dog. A lot of people cue dogs by either they got a sleeve on, they got a whip in their hand. Some guys edit the video where they agitated the dog before they do it. And then they say, okay, now start the video.
Yeah.
Then they do it. You can tell because all you got to do is look at how much the dog is salivating.
Yeah.
If you just doing this, why the dog doing? Why he got all this foam and shit? He's dripping all this from his mouth. You just worked him up, then you started the video, dumbass. Yeah. Come on, man, get that. You know that.
Yeah.
That comes from experience, Jay. I'm not saying I'm the only person to know that, but it's a lot of people, I guarantee you, don't know that. Don't know to look for that stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially
You see,
like the thing you just said about before when you was talking about sending your dog. When you send your dog, it's just like if you have a gun. If somebody's running away from you and you shoot them, like you're in
you're
trouble
you're in trouble.
because
You're in
that
trouble.
person's running away from you. He's not a threat anymore if he's running away from you.
Yeah.
And
Here's
it
the,
depends on what you say too. If you say, "Go get him," and you send your dog, man, you better be ready. I have
you
a
better be
video.
ready. You better have a high powered ass lawyer that can explain some of that
Right.
shit.
Yeah. You better be ready to
So
lay down.
yeah. So here's the what my lawyer told me. So if I got 5 acres, 2 acres in the neighborhood subdivision, and some kids are walking on the back side of my property, just
Hmm.
on my side of the fence, and the dog runs over and gets them, but they close to my shed, and the dog goes and gets them. I'll try to have the fence and say, man, they were breaking in my shed.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't got nothing in their hand and the lock's still on my shed. So how are they trying
Mm.
to break in it? So here's what their attorney will say. Well, the kids were lost. They didn't know that was your yard. They just walking across the yard. They just shooting birds with BB guns or whatever. They
Wow.
didn't know. So you
Mm.
got a problem. So to limit the liability, you put a sign up say dog on premises on all 4 sides of your yard.
Yeah. Okay.
And people can be from El Salvador, but that little black sign with that orange writing, if they can't read English, if they see that sign, they know that should have some understanding that that sign means something's wrong. You shouldn't be
Right.
here or something.
Yeah.
So now that limits my liability
Okay.
way down by
I didn't
having
know
those.
that.
It shouldn't say attack dog on premises, vicious dog on premises. Just put dog on premises.
Right.
You know, now that attorney says that in that video, that limits your liability way low. You
Yeah, I
know,
didn't know that. Okay.
yeah. So it's a lot of stuff, man, that's out there to learn in the dog world. And you talk to different people, you'll hear different things. But what verifies those things is if you talk to 5 people and you hear 4 people say the same thing or close to the same thing, and this person over here say something to contradict these 4 people, what's the chance of 4 people being wrong and that one person being right? Slim to none, and Slim
Yeah.
just hauled ass, you know. So it's a lot of stuff, man, that's in this dog world, man. I can sit here and talk about it for hours on end of some of the bullshit I've seen, some of the bullshit I've heard, um, stuff that goes on. Like there's a guy out in California, and this is
Hmm.
going on now. Dobermans, imported Doberman, import dogs, import dogs. And he wants everybody to think that importing is the best dogs to get. No, if you don't know these people, you ain't dealt with these people for years. I'm not talking a year or 6 months. I'm talking about years of dealing with these people. And
Yeah.
you just call over there and you try to get a dog. You liable to get you want a Doberman, you liable to get a Chihuahua.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
And
right.
I think the one guy on the video, I think the guy said he was out of 20 grand
Wow.
on a dog. And it wasn't what he ordered or what he agreed to buy from the
Yeah.
people. So I put a post up the other day and I made a statement. The easiest way that I know to get around that is you pick that puppy out and said, that's the puppy I want. Make a video, you put a tattoo number in that dog's ear.
Mm.
And that's the
Okay.
dog I want. If that dog don't get here, when that dog gets here, if that tattoo number don't match the number that you took the picture we agreed on, I'm gonna send him back, or you held liable, or hold the money up until you get the dog to verify the number in the dog's ear
Yeah.
before you get him.
Right.
That's how you cut down on some of that important shit and importing that stuff that you don't know what it is.
Okay.
Stuff that you tell me, and if they don't want to do it, oh, John, I'm not going to go through all that trouble. Well, I'm not going to buy a dog
I'm not
from
gonna
you.
buy it. Yeah. Simple as that.
That's simple as that. So
Right.
you mean to tell me over the last 100 goddamn years there aren't enough Dobermans, Pit Bulls, Shepherds, Mals, Dutches, Pressers, English Masters? There aren't enough here in the States to get a good dog from somebody here in the States? The
Right.
fuck out of here. Where I need to import from? I've been saying this, man, for many, many years. When I used to have, I got videos of puppies go back 13, 14, 15, 16 years. Doing shit that I haven't saw guys do with puppies to this day.
Wow.
And mother, they won't buy a puppy from me. They'll go buy it from Joe Blow because he got a better presentation. Or he's
Yeah.
going to sugarcoat some shit. Or he'll talk to them and he'll coax their ego and shit like that.
Make it sound good.
I ain't into that. You want a dog that's gonna work? Here you go. This what you got, right?
I'm
Here
gonna tell
you
you
go.
what it is.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. If that
Right.
motherfucker don't work, shoot him, give him away, do whatever you want. I'll replace him, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, but don't get caught up in that importing stuff and thinking you're gonna always get something better, because that don't always work out. The military gets dogs they buy from brokers that's imported, and those dogs don't work out. So what make you think you just an average Joe Blow? You think you're gonna get a better dog? They
Right.
got people in that guy's town, in that guy's area, hour, 2-3 hours away from him in California, that's breeding just as good of dogs as they trying to import. If he has a stud service, you studding dogs out, and you this, why? What happened to what's going on with the puppies you breeding? You studying and making. And I'm not trying to just beat the guy, but come on, man. Some of this shit has to stop. Some of these people need to be put out there to not to make them tell what they're doing or explain it or not, because they grown. They don't have to do anything.
Right.
But I choose to point that stuff out. The stuff that I see going on in this dog world, man, needs to be called out.
Yeah.
It's just they just full of shit, man, with some of this stuff. I had a Dutch Shepherd off of a puppy off of a dog named what was that? What was Queen's dad? Arco. The Arco kicker dog. Arco was known. Mike Suttles had on his Facebook page. He had it in red writing. These puppies are extremely hard. If you're not experienced with these dogs, please don't call and ask for one.
Yeah.
That came off. I got a male off of that dog, and then I got a male off of Carlos and Arco dogs. So out of the Dutch Shepherds at one time in the States, that was the two strongest Dutches you can find. And man, I would have a litter of puppies off, and I had the male and the female with a Carlos Arco dog. And some of these guys in Houston wouldn't buy a pup for me. So
wow.
A lot of these people wouldn't buy them. But you go up there and pay $3,500, $3,000. I was selling them at the time $1,500. Oh man, Mims. Oh man, he ain't got a facility. All this, all that, all that. What the fuck does that got to do with what I'm putting out here? I tell people all the time, man, grade these puppies. Dude, look at what I'm doing with my puppies. I do stuff with my puppies that people wait till those dogs are 7, 8, 9, 10 months old to do. I do with them at 3 months. At 4 weeks, I start doing scent work with puppies. Not just simple stuff. I have them doing complex. I have 4 cardboard boxes out. I put an odor in one of them, and they're going to find the odor in that one box at 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old.
Wow.
Now, where in the hell they going to, and I don't see people doing that stuff online. I just don't. I see people that want a puppy, but then they'll call me, they'll offer me. If I tell them 15, they'll say, man, can you do 7? Can you do 8? But they won't call these other people. And if they tell them 3,500, they're gonna pay 3,500.
Yes, sir.
They're not gonna even fix their lips to offer them nothing else or ask them nothing else. But that's how our people. That's just it's frustrating as hell to see how it is. But that's just how our people have been programmed.
Right.
To think we don't. I don't have to have a puppy off a certain bloodline. I don't, the guy out in Dallas I was telling you about, he was importing Berry 3, Berry 2, or whatever, these Berry dogs. That was a malinois that was famous overseas, and all this, and half of them were flunking out at 6 months old.
Wow.
He was giving them away because they just turned out to be shit dogs. Yeah. Just because he was good don't mean what he's throwing is good. His progeny isn't good. I have dogs. I saw the clip on a show one time. What was one of these movies? And it says, man, they asked the lady, said, you only been practicing law for a week? She said, sir, sharks are born swimming. It took me a second to realize what that meant. She's a lawyer and she's good at it. And that just from the get-go, she was good.
She's built for it.
These puppies born here at K9 Mims, at my kennel, and what I do with them, they born doing that shit. They
Yeah.
get it from the ground up. I don't
Right.
have to force them to do this stuff. I teach it to them when they're young enough. I make it out of a game. So if I teach you how to play chess, if you don't know how to play chess, now you might not get it. But if I'd have
Yeah.
started teaching you chess when you was 5 years old, you'd have learned it. You might be a master by now.
Right.
You know, so it's a little different. You know, if you teach these dogs young enough, like I don't know if you hear or you've seen a lot of guys have a problem with their dogs outing on a bite,
Mm-hmm.
coming off a bite. Have you seen that a lot?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it. Yeah.
If you teach a dog at 3 months old, 2 months old, when I say out, you let it go. It's
Right.
not a game. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. Out means out. And if you enforce
That's
that,
a life or death situation. Also, say you in a street fight, somebody the dog bites somebody and he's with a group, somebody has a gun. If you don't out, you and your dog could be dead if you don't leave the dog or if the dog doesn't out.
here's how it goes another way.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like these police officers when they got to choke their dog out
Yeah.
on a bite and people videoing it,
Yeah.
or they sitting there and they doing it at the same time. They choking them out and they say out, 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 and the dog never outs.
Yeah.
Man, you just made that lawsuit go from 200,000 to 700 million
Yeah.
because you sitting there telling the dog to out 10 times and you got to
And he's
choke him
not.
out and he's still not outing.
Right.
And that's a training issue. That's something that needs to be fixed in training. That's
Yeah.
something that people need to teach their dogs way young. Don't
Right.
wait till the dog gets to be a year old, a year and a half old to try to teach them to out because some dogs by then they know they can turn around and bite you and they'll fight you for it.
Right.
You know, when some of these things I like to tell from personal experience. Okay, I got a dog back that was a military dog at one time. He did 2 tours, and most of them back then they would do 2 tours and then they retire the dogs out. So
Mm-hmm.
a buddy of mine worked at a sheriff office. They got the dog from Lackland Air Force Base to the sheriff office, and the guy that was handling the dog ran the sheriff department's K9 unit. But that don't mean he know how to train dogs or know how to deal with certain kind of dogs, if that
Right.
makes sense, right? They get this dog, and my buddy sent me the video where the guy was in the hallway in the jail. They wanted to teach the dog to smell tobacco so that the guys couldn't smoke in the jail. And man, this dude's walking down the hall with this dog. He was a big old tall malinois, about 100 pounds. And he's sitting there trying to make the dog out the little cone he had on the rope.
Yeah.
And the dog wouldn't out, but you can see the dog. Every time he pull him, you can see the dog look up at his, out the corner of his eye. Like, I'm getting ready to bust your ass. He
Wow.
get it one time. The dog got the Kong in his mouth. He dropped the Kong, bit the guy and grabbed the ball before it hit the ground.
Wow.
And he got him on a shooting hand, so it messed his hand up.
Yeah.
So my buddy worked the dog on the street and he gave the dog to him. His wife told him that dog can't stay here, too much dog. So I wound up with the dog. Okay, I got him and the dog, I knew how to work around that. So the issue is this dog was so possessive and so strong in being possessive, and he had a bunch of street bites overseas and all that shit, and a couple of bites since he's been in the state. Matter of fact, he stayed in the kennel at the Air Force Base for a year. They fed him through the fence. They slide the food under the fence. They just spray the pin out. Nobody wanted to work because he bit about 4 of the handlers over there.
Wow.
But
I got a question about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, even just regular owners, can they create a ticking time bomb or aggressive dog if they keep their dog in the kennel just for a long period of time?
The dogs build up frustration.
Frustration, right?
And they don't give them an outlet for it.
Yeah.
So, to give them an outlet, playing ball with them, taking them out, just letting the dog run, take them to not a dog park, but find a baseball field where it's kind of fenced in, and just go let him run and burn off some of that energy. And sometimes you can get away with, some of those issues like that. Because if a dog stay in the kennel, he's going to build up some frustration.
Yeah.
And the only way a dog knows to relieve frustration is to put his mouth on something.
Right.
And then it ain't gonna be good.
No.
A lot of times it ain't good,
Right.
So this dog, right to this story right quick. So this dog, what I done was when he had the Kong in his mouth, I put my hand under his mouth and I tell him to out. And he drops it.
Yeah.
But if he got it in his mouth and that rope's on it, and I try to take it away from him, now it's a tug of war. It's a fight.
Mm.
He'll let this go and bite me to make me let this go so he can get it.
Wow.
But if I put my hand here and say out, you can have it.
Right.
That's experience on knowing how to work with certain dogs. Now, could I have fixed that to where when I say out, it doesn't matter? What would I prove by fixing that at that age or that stage of that dog's life? Or the other one? Hold on 1 second, Jay.
Okay.
Can you
Go
hold on a
ahead.
second? Go
No
ahead and talk.
problem.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
In
Man,
the car.
subscribe to my boy Long Way Media right there. Okay,
Yeah.
we all good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
some people create problems unknowingly. Create them. By like keeping the dog in the kennel and building up that frustration like that.
Yeah.
Some Malinois, some Dutch Shepherds, some Pit Bulls. They got people in Atlanta at one time. They were crossing Pressers and Malinois together.
Wow.
You
What's your
know,
thoughts on that?
man, in order to do that, you gotta breed that stuff 4 or 5 times just to get what you want and proof of what you're putting out. You may
Yeah.
breed the first litter. Some people don't like to hear this stuff. If you got 6 puppies, you may cull 3 and keep 3.
Mm-hmm.
Pet home 3, don't even tell the people what they are. They're just dogs. Just take that 3. But then when you do that, if you do that, then you still don't know the temperament, what you're breeding.
Right.
You might have an issue with that stuff. So you have to repeat that breeding so many times to define and refine what your goal is
Right.
of putting out by mixing these dogs. Because sometimes all those genes don't match.
You're right.
All
You're
that stuff
absolutely
don't
right.
click. You can breed two pressers, and that breeding just don't click. The genes
Right.
don't match. And you get some dogs out there, they half retarded, half stupid, the other one's half crazy.
Yep.
So people that do that stuff, man, they breed and they just trying to create something to say, oh, JJ created a breed, you call it whatever you want to call it. Oh,
Yeah.
Mims created a breed, he called it whatever you want to call it. Joe created a breed, he called it whatever he want to call it. And a
Right.
lot of people, more and more people are off into that sort of thing. If
Yeah.
I create one, if I was to create a dog, a breed, or try to develop a breed,
Mm-hmm.
there would be a goal and a purpose. And I'd probably do it 10 years before anybody even know what it is.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I know a guy, that created a dog called an Allant Mastiff. It was a game dog.
To a like a greyhound.
You got it? Huh? Yeah, no. A Allant Mastiff. It was looks like a kind of pumped up pit bull. Because
Okay.
the guy was an old pit bull guy. So that was to create the breed. There's some pit in it, some feelers, some tosa, something else that was in it. But
Wow.
I remember talking to that guy. My son's 27, so probably 26 years ago when he first started developing the breed.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Tosa Inu from him 28 years ago.
Okay.
People didn't know. I didn't even know what a Tosa was. I saw the damn TV thing where they had the Japanese fighting mafia had them on there fighting them.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I said, shit, I got to get one of them. I immediately picked the phone up trying to find them. And then used to have a dog book called Dog World magazine. I don't even know if they still publish that, Dog World.
I'm not sure.
I started going in that. I subscribed to it. Used to get it every month. I'm calling people, and I met this guy named Donald, and I got one of those Tosas. But his dog that he created was an Allant Mastiff. I specifically remember him telling me he was going to create a breed, and he had a goal in mind. He wanted to create a superior fighting dog.
Wow.
A pit dog.
Yeah.
And we lost touch for years. I'm to be 15 years or better. I run across him about 9 years ago. And he said, I saw a picture of it. That dog, I'll talk in a bit. A picture of the dog one time on one of those message boards years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's Don. I said, and I think we might have talked once or twice, then we lost touch again. But to say this was at the time what he deemed the most superior fighting dog, match dog, or whatever they call it to be correct,
Yeah.
match dog that can be, because it had the best of every fighting dog there was. Pit, Tosa, Fila, one that he didn't tell me, but man, to see those dogs, dude, oh,
I
oh,
bet it
and if
was a sight
this
to see.
dude, if he told me old dog got 50 years or so, 45 years, 50 years in the business, in the game,
Mm-hmm.
I don't question that, because everything that guy has told me up until this point to this day has came out to be true.
Yeah.
If I tell you, Jay, I'm gonna send you a 5-month-old pup that'll find dope anywhere, he gonna find it. I don't care where
Yeah.
they hide it at, he's gonna find it.
Right.
If I send you a 6-month-old pup and say this dog gonna bite us on, bitch, I'm telling you now, be careful with it.
Yeah.
You better be careful, because the minute you slack off, he gonna bite somebody.
Right.
You know, and that's how some of these people, like I told you earlier, that I deal with, us older guys, we don't play games. We don't bullshit people. We too old for that. We too
Right.
grown for that. You know, I don't have time for that stuff, man. I've given away dogs that people. I just say, man, I got stories upon stories. But anyways, I'm too old and too grown to lie to people, to
Right.
bullshit people. If you don't want to hear the truth, don't call me.
Yeah.
If you don't want me to prove what you're doing is wrong, don't call me.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna tell you like it is, and sometimes I can be wrong. You
Yeah.
know, I can misjudge. I ain't perfect. You know, but those chances of me misjudging or not hitting the nail on the head are slim to none.
Right.
You know, I take, like I say about Don, to give you Don told me when he started watching my videos. Now I talked to him years and years ago when he was in I think when he was in Arizona. Then I talked to him a couple of years ago, but then recently we started talking more regularly. But he said, Mims, he said, let me tell you something. He said, the first video I saw you doing, I had a litter of puppies and I named them by letters. They were E, C,
Excuse me.
BB, and Mimi. I took them
Mm-hmm.
out to this little creek and they had a tree that fell across it. Wasn't but probably a foot or so deep, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I took the dogs out. I done bonded with these dogs because I bred them.
Right.
These dogs now, they were 4 months old, I think. Had 4 of them. I took them out to this little creek. And I said, now, if I'm thinking me and this dog is tight, and I know what I've done with him, if he see me walk across this log on the other side of this creek, he should come with me, or once I get over there, I should be able to call him over. Let
Yeah.
him figure out how to get over there to me. Don said, man, I'm looking at that video, so ain't no way that shit gonna work. And he said, 2 minutes later, hear that dog and figured out how to walk across that log and get over there to me.
Wow.
And that's what the goal was. Me and that dog was tight enough. He wants to get over there to me.
Right.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
So the next dog I brought out, I went across the thing and he come across the water. He didn't go across the log. He went in the water and came to me.
Wow.
So doing stuff, and he said, man, that told me everything I needed to know about you. You know, he saw some other videos and he was like, well, damn. Then he said, he saw me doing work with some scent work. And he said the same thing. He said, that shit ain't gonna work. And he said that he watched the development of the dog, of those puppies. He saw those puppies develop in front of his eyes.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll be damned if it didn't work. And he said, let me tell you something, man. He says, what I saw you do with those puppies goes against, and he told me the guy that wrote a scent book, some old guy from Germany. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember what his name was. He said, I read that book. I know the book. He said, but you go against everything that's in that book that this guy says how it's supposed to be and
Mm-hmm.
how it should be. And he said, you doing it and you're not doing it nothing like what he says. But the dogs are showing it. The proof is in the pudding.
Right.
Look at the dogs. And man, look, bro, I'm sitting in this chair with me and him talking. When we got on the phone, I took my shirt off and I stuck my chest out and I walked around my living room with my chest stuck out. Coming from a guy like that with that much experience in the game, to me, what does somebody that's been training dogs 5 years, what can they tell me that will offend me? And I just got a notice from a guy like Don that's been training dogs 50 plus years.
Right.
The dude, 5 years, how long you been? 6 or 10 years? Nothing. 15 years? Nothing. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I may listen to you, but
Right.
it's nothing like the kudos I got from this guy. Mark
Right.
Lima, I sent him a video the other day. I sent him a video that was 16 weeks, 16 years old. Mark, look at this video. Tell me what you think. A hell of a dog for 5-month-old dog, but can't nobody tell me nothing. I don't hear nothing from nobody else about that stuff, about what I do. Because I value the opinions of people with experience that's close to mine or more
Right.
than mine. Because I feel like the people that's under me, they're doing stuff a different way. Not saying it's not good, not saying it doesn't fit their needs. It may do, it may fit their needs. But for my style, what I like to see, what the guys that I like to see my age or older, what we like to see is different from what these younger cats see.
Yeah.
And there's something that will always happen, Jay. All that stuff eventually goes in a circle and it'll come back around to the original form of it.
Right.
There's only so many ways you can teach a dog to sit.
Right. Yeah.
Only so many ways you can make a dog lay down.
Right.
It's basic dog training. It ain't magic what we do. You know why people bring dogs to me to train and other dog trainers? You know why the biggest thing why they do that?
Why?
Because they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
When you get a car, you know why you don't take your car to mechanic? Because you
I
don't know how to work
do
on
it. Right. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
so now you're gonna take that car time or two, you're gonna take it to some bitch that gonna take you fast for a couple of $100. You're gonna learn it real quick. What he told you was bullshit, you're gonna start to pick up on that.
Right.
Then you take it to somebody and say, man, look, I heard this guy. So enough people that talked about this guy fix their car right. Let me go to him.
Yeah.
And you'll never go to another mechanic a day in your life.
Right.
You know, so it's a lot of things, man, when it comes to dog training that has a lot of weight that it pushes on people. There's a lot of fluff in the dog training community.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things like e-collars that are so much floating around now. Everybody wants to be a dog trainer. They put an e-collar on a dog. You know, Don said it best. If I take away your e-collar, your treats, your choke chain, your pinch collar, all that shit, and give you a flat collar and a leash, can you do the same thing with your dog?
Mm.
You know how heavy that is, man? To me,
Yeah.
you know, if I take away all your training apparatuses, all you got is you, the dog, a leash, and a collar. Now train that dog. How many of them can do it? Not many.
Right.
And dog training, the e-collar has made a lot of people think they're trainers when they're not. The treat training has made a lot of them think. You know, here's my thinking on treats.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs were domesticated to be by man's side since the beginning of time.
Right.
Or whenever man got here, whenever dogs got here, that mesh just came and it's just so natural, right?
Yeah.
Why do I gotta bribe the dog with a treat to make him sit down?
Right.
Why? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But if I did know what I was doing and I saw somebody doing it, and in order to do it, if I had that treat to say sit down and the dog sit and I give him the treat, oh, I'm a trainer now because I made him sit.
Yeah.
That's about a bunch of bullshit that you can take, man. You take an e-collar and put on a dog and you condition the dog to an e-collar and you train that dog constantly with an e-collar. And then you make a video and you take the e-collar off of him before you make the video. And then you say, oh, look how stable the dog is.
Mm.
Oh, look how conditioned. Oh, look how much control I got on the dog. Well, you ain't got an e-collar on him. Or you didn't condition it with it. He still think he's got it on. You know, with an elephant, if you get a cattle prod with an elephant, I can make the elephant climb the Empire State Building if I burn his ass with that e-collar.
He gonna straighten up, even if he just see it.
Even if he see it, he gonna straighten up.
Right.
That's not training. I'm coercing you into doing shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I got a question though.
Go.
So I hear some people say there's like different breeds, like mastiffs that are food driven. You know, like just prey driven, toy driven.
Right.
So what's your thoughts on a food driven dog? Does that still go into the treats and what you don't like about it, or is it just a good way to utilize it?
Okay, so here's the deeper version of that.
Okay.
All right. if I have a malinois that's just strong, he just high drive, he just wired up, and the only way I can control him is with treats. If that fits your purpose, by all means, do it.
Right.
But for me, and you're for a quick fix. For me, what beats that treat is repetition, consistency, and doing it over and over and over
Yeah.
and over and over. I'm not trying to cut corners. I'm not trying to cut time.
Right.
So what has happened over the years with dogs like that, or certain breeds, certain people that train dogs, you notice how they got some Malinois that are at a level 10, you got some that's at a level 4.
Yeah.
That's because somebody done wash that shit down to level 4 so they can handle it and call themselves a trainer. When those dogs first hit over here, they all of them was fucking at a 10 or 20 or 30.
Yeah.
There were no 4s. There were no
Right.
4s. They were all up here.
Right.
But people start washing that shit down and not being, they watering that shit down to get lesser dogs so they can control it and and try to consider themselves a trainer.
Right.
That's how I see it. And a lot of other people see it like that, but they're too scared to say something.
Yeah.
You know? So if you take a food motivated dog and the dog only works for food, he needs to relieve that stress some kind of way, starve his ass out and don't give him no treats. Sit down.
Yeah.
He don't sit down, you don't get no treats. Sit down. He don't eventually, when I say sit, he gonna sit. Then I'm gonna love the hell out of him when he do sit.
Right.
So now what he working for? He working for the love and my attention.
Right.
You don't eat, your ass gonna get weak enough when I say sit down, you're gonna hit that floor.
Yeah.
Your ass gonna hit the floor. People don't want to wait them out. They want to hurry up and force their ideas on the dog, force their way of thinking over on the dog, and all that kind of stuff instead of taking the time. And like some of my posts, I say enjoying the build. I'm enjoying doing that build like this: one brick, another brick, another brick, another brick. I'm not trying to go to Home Depot and buy the shit already put together and put that shit up already.
Right.
The instant results don't do me. I don't like that. You know, I want to put the dog together. So, Jay, when I look at a dog, I train a dog, I want to know every move that dog makes. I want to know why he's doing it.
Right.
How to make him do it in different ways. My little chihuahua, come here, mama. I got a little chihuahua right there. I'll tell her the shit that she's learned already. If I hold that little treat, she'll sit, she'll lay down. And if I don't do it, if I just act like I got something in my hand, she'll sit, she'll lay down, she'll wait for me to act like I'm throwing a treat or something. You know, some people and some dogs, I guess they learn better with a treat because they've been watered down.
Yeah.
They softer dogs, you know.
Right.
Like you get people with strong dogs. They'll take the strong dog and they'll water them down, or they'll take the strong dog, you give it to a weak handler, and that guy said, he know right away, that's too much dog for me. Give me that dog that's at level 4.
Yeah.
You know, I've had dogs at all levels. I've had dogs at 4 and bring them up to a 10. I've had dogs at a 10 and took them to a 15.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just what people are willing to do, what people's knowledge level is. If people are willing to be, make friends with people and learn from people and understand and call and network with people. And that's the problem. If you call me and ask a question, if I don't know, I guarantee you I know somebody that knows.
Right.
I can get them on the line and I'll introduce you and I'll say, hey man, y'all exchange numbers so
That's
we
a
can
beautiful
network
thing
and
right
understand
there.
some shit.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
You know, and
thing.
that's where guys they don't want to check their ego at the door. Everybody want to come there and drop their dick on the table. You know, excuse my language, but everybody want to come there and be Mr. Big Man at the show.
Right.
You know, instead of everybody just coming together and work for a common cause.
Right.
You know, I don't see like going to seminars, going to these little seminars that everybody putting on. They charge you $350 for the weekend, $250 for the weekend. I saw some bitch even charge $550 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, half the time you go there, what the people are going to do that's doing the show, they're going to give you their ideas.
Yeah.
And it's going to go against, most of the time, it'll go against what you've been training your dog for already. So you get 2.5, 3 days of his ideas going to clash with your ideas. Now you go home with your stuff in your mind and his stuff, and your dog will be more confused than when he went there.
You and the dog gonna be confused. Y'all
You and
both
the dog fucked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And he's $350, $500 richer because he got 10 of y'all. If he made 6, 7, 8 grand and then went there and spewed all that foolishness. Or
Right.
he tries to use words that you guys don't understand
Just to make it sound good.
to make it sound good. If
Yeah.
I go there and I talk just as simple and plain as it is, I guarantee more people will be more understanding and more happy about what I just told them and what we just went through.
And they gonna respect you more. They're like, man,
And
sir,
they're
you
going,
broke
I
it.
ain't trying to talk over their head. If you
Right.
want to know something here, because at the end of the day, when I tell that dog to bite, that get over there and bite and deal with it. All that other stuff to get to that don't make sense to the average
Yeah.
person anyway. I put a post up the other day and I said, if I'm training somebody's dog and I don't train the people, if I do a boarding train for obedience, and I say, okay, your dog's ready, and they come to pick the dog up, and I spend 30 minutes with them, let transition back over to them. But in 30 minutes, are they gonna really get it? No.
No.
No. So if they stay an hour, will they get it? They may pick up something, but they
Yeah.
won't get it.
Right.
But if I do a boarding train, if I keep the dog a month, and at 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I make it mandatory where the person have to come at least twice a week. I don't care if it's 15 minutes then, but come twice a week before you come for the last transition class. At least you have a better understanding of how that dog's put together, why he's doing it. I can teach you how to correct the dog and make you a better person with your dog when you leave me.
Right.
Now, I have one guy, he's a buddy of mine, but he seems to think, oh man, everybody don't want to be a trainer. They just want their dog fixed. Well, that's the problem. Because you give them their dog back and they don't understand when they tell the dog to sit, he's not sitting.
Yeah.
They don't remember that little class you gave them there, in my opinion, that you gave when they came to pick the dog up, because there's one thing that's sure the day is long. There are people that's got dogs and then there are dog people.
Right.
I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
Somebody else, they family, they just somebody that got a dog.
Right.
So when I train somebody, I train them, I train the dog. And I prefer to do classes where I go to the people and do the class. They have to be involved in every class has to be done. Somebody from that household has to be there to learn
Right.
it. So when I leave, I don't get that many callbacks and say, oh, John, the dog ain't doing this. Now I may get a call a year or two later. John, I'm calling him, he ain't coming back. Well, if they don't use it eventually, the dog never forget it. They just get lazy at it.
Right.
You know, so then, yeah, you go back and you fix that problem for them right quick. You know, it takes you 10 minutes to fix that issue and you're done. But at least they have a better understanding of their dog, why the dog's doing what it's doing. I
Yeah.
prefer educating the people and not just educating the dog. I want the
Right.
people to have a little better understanding. They don't have to be trainers, but at least think along the lines of a trainer. Kind of
Right.
start thinking like a trainer.
Yeah.
You know, some of my videos, yeah, I tell people, okay, we've been over that. You tell me what you're doing wrong. If they can tell me what they're doing wrong, I know they're learning.
Right.
The dog knows it. The people you hear train say that all the time. The people are the harder people to train, and the dog easy. It's the people. But if I got them and I go there every week or twice a week for 4 or 5 weeks, I guarantee they know it and they
Right.
will understand it. You know, and they that money I charge them, they put a value. They have a bigger appreciation for it because I taught them something. You know,
Yeah.
so you know, it's just a lot that goes on in the dog world, man. That's, you know, the pros and cons of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the dirty shit that's done in the dog world, breeding wise, where they breeding dogs and they tell you, oh, this the mom and the dad, but if you do a DNA thing or what they call that other test they do now, where they tell you what percentage the dog is and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
the,
Or whatever.
like the health not health DNA test.
The DNA testing, it's another test. Something they call it, whatever. It tells you the dog's 23% pressure, 25% feeler, 18%
Oh, I can't
torso.
remember.
I forget what the name of it, but I never heard
Embark.
of that till just a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Training wise, though, JJ, training wise, You bring me a dog, I don't care about none of that. What
Right.
you wouldn't say when you want dog obedience train? I obedience train the dog in front of me.
Yeah.
What's in his background has no meaning to me.
Right.
Sit, stay down, come back when your car walk on a loose leash. Wait at the door till I tell you to go out. Don't eat that bucket of that bowl of food till I tell you.
Yeah.
Obedience. I don't care what the DNA said on that dog, or whatever. I can't think of the name of that damn test to save my life. That's why I'm driving
I know
crazy.
there's embark test, wisdom.
Embark. That's it.
Yeah.
Embark. Embark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't care about that stuff. I'm not
Okay.
into it for that. I'm a trainer. When it comes to breeding, I know how to breed malinois, Dutch Shepherds. I've bred a lot of dogs over the years. I've
Right.
bred Mals, Dutches, Dobermans, Shepherds, Chihuahuas, Chows, uh, Bullies. Bred all that shit over the years.
Okay.
You know, and I've learned from each one of them that I've done it with.
Right.
You know, but I don't care about all. I judge what's in front of me.
Right.
And that's what I train. Can you like that one guy? He had him and his girl had a bloodhound. They were trying to get to do protection work.
Wow.
A fucking bloodhound. Now you know
I
some
don't.
shit
I
just
don't know
don't
though.
go
Don't
together,
they?
huh?
I think some people use them. They were using the Fila, but that was like the Cuban bloodhounds. So some bloodhounds do have that like human aggression a little bit, but it's
Yeah, but
just
it's got a
it's
little
not
something in it. It's got a little
right.
something in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little something in it. So the you know when you look at some of this stuff, what goes on, why it goes on. Some people just scared to call a spade a spade.
You just gotta
You
call a
know,
spade a spade.
yeah, you got to
Yeah.
call it, man. If I train a protection dog, I want him to be used to going in confined areas. So I start puppies off of going in little cardboard boxes to get stuff at the back of the. I put 5 boxes together. I'll put
Right.
a hole where they got to go into like a little tunnel to get to the back. Put some food back there. They got to go through that dog, so they learning this at 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old. Some people,
Yeah.
oh, when will that ever happen? Well, somebody might be in my yard and this dog, he can't see him. He got to go find the ass in the dark. I prepared him for that since he was 4 weeks old to work in the dark.
Right.
I turn the water on while my dog's eating. I'll turn the sprinkler on. I'll stand there with the hose pipe and spray them with water while they're eating. So they learn to work when they're uncomfortable.
Right.
People don't want to do that. Oh no, all that old tree hugging ass stuff, man. Get out of here, man. You know, if you
Yeah.
training, if I got a dog that I want to be a protection dog, I'm gonna raise that dog a certain way.
Right.
You know, he's gonna be exposed to things. He's gonna be
Hold on,
exposed to certain
Mr.
stuff.
Mims.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep this. We're gonna do a part 2 with this.
Hey, bro, I told you I'd go for hours when we get the dog
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, I like, man, you killing it though. You killing
I
it. I
like
ain't
that,
even got into all the
man.
questions. You killing
Yeah,
it though. I
if
love
you
it.
got something you want to go before we go, let me know, man. I hate to hog the show up, man. Sometimes, but
Uh
since when we agreed on this, man, my mind's been going 1,000 miles an hour, bro.
yeah.
And I told Joe I was gonna let him have it, not you, but the audience, and let the
Right,
people
right.
have it, because some of this stuff needs to be said, man. It needs to be all this
Yeah.
stuff going on. People robbing, people taking people money, lying to them about these puppies. You know, somebody called me and said, "John, what I need to look for? I'm going to look at a litter of Corsos." I'll give them a tip. I wonder what me charging you. Man, give me $50 on Cash App, and I'll tell you what to look for.
Right.
No, 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 no. You
Yeah.
them will go around talking about me like crazy. But if I tell them what it is and they pick a good puppy, they'll come back and they may put a comment on this post. They say, "Man, Mims, tell me I pick a puppy. I'm way in New York. I called
Right.
him and he gave me an idea and I picked out the perfect puppy." That
Yeah.
means more to me than that money. And I'm pretty sure over the years I've lost a lot of money like that. You
Right.
know. But when it comes to dog, man, this is what I do for a living. Some people have different professions. I drove trucks for years. My back's messed up now from that. When I get through with you now, I might have to put a heating pad or something on my back, sit in my recliner. But I
Yeah.
don't mind it because this is my life. This is what I love to do.
Right.
Dogs. Dogs. I ain't just here to do it just because.
Yeah.
This is what I do, you know. And
Absolutely.
helping people is what I like to do,
Yeah.
you know, and telling people the truth. What I like to do. If I, you know, there's an old saying in my neighborhood, if I screw somebody over, they had it coming. And it may not have been coming from me. It may have been coming from somebody else. The screw just happened to be in my hand and I turned the screwdriver in.
Right.
So, But yeah, man, if we do a part 2, that'll be fine, man. Whatever you need me to do, if you need any help, anybody needs some help, look me up, call, ask a question or whatever. I don't mind talking dog talk, man. I can go.
Man, I
We've been here
appreciate
now,
it.
hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, we've been on here cooking.
We've been rolling, man.
I
My
think I want
wife
to
is-
ask you one thing. You kind of spoke on it a little bit when it comes to a dog's genetics or its or the profile of the breed, and you saying you can still have that dog do whatever. So let me put that into an example of, let's say, like a backyard bred German Shepherd, and then a working line German Shepherd. Can you bring them to the same level when it comes to training?
If I get a show line dog at the right age, here's what I find the difference in how you present the game to that puppy,
Right.
how you present it to him. If I presented a show line dog in defense, make him defensive first,
Yeah.
genetically he can't handle defense because he's a show dog, so he's not defensive by nature. But if I present the game to him and I make him chase this rag and chase this tug, and I get him to like that. So as he starts to like that, I put obstacles in the way.
Right.
He goes over it. So what happens? He goes over it. He goes through it. He starts working with me, spraying that water on him. He's still chasing that tug. He's not giving up. So what's going up? His confidence.
Right.
Right? And as he gets older and stronger, I turn the pressure up. Every time I keep dialing that pressure up. So at a year and a half old, saying that ain't the same dog. Right. Bullshit. Go look at all the videos I've been posting.
Yeah.
So now some dogs you can evaluate as a pup. And now I'm talking about getting a dog like that at 8 weeks, 9 weeks. Yeah. Not 5 months where he's had bad experiences. He's, got certain things that have spooked him. He'll never be what you want him to be.
Right.
But if you take that working line dog and you do nothing with him but put him in the backyard, what dogs look better? The show line dog by far.
Yeah.
So everybody don't know how to build like that though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So genetics, some dogs you always fight genetics.
Yeah.
But I've learned and done it time after time. When you present the game to them a certain way, you can get them to like it. Right. I got a cane corso out in the back. A guy gave me the whole litter. This one particular female I liked. I said, man, she gonna be special.
Yeah.
I taught her how to do scent work when she was 4 months old. Wow. She'll walk around 5 cars to find dope, and you're not gonna hide it from her. She's gonna find it. Corsos aren't known to do scent work.
Right. Yeah, that's not their.
That's not them. Yeah. But she done it. And the other ones was doing it, but I wound up selling those, and I kept her, and she does pretty good scent work. She's not gonna go out and. I wouldn't say she'll go past like an NNDDA certification. Yeah. But if some dope's around and I tell her to go find it, she'll probably find it. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah.
She's going to get it. So, and that could have been any odor. Doesn't matter just necessarily anything because of the way I presented the game to them. I found over the years that has a lot to do with some dogs that make or break. Some guys take 5-month-old dogs and they want them to be so serious and so defensive. What are you gonna do with the dog? If you go to compete in the sport, he might be too serious. He gonna bite the guy when he ain't supposed to bite him.
Right.
Because he's too anxious. If something happens to you and you got to go to the hospital, God forbid something happen and you pass, what they gonna be able to do with that dog? Shoot him?
Yeah, they have to put him down. Yeah.
So stuff like that. It's a whole gumbo of things. A whole lot of ingredients go into that stuff. Yeah. Working dogs versus show line dogs. If you get them young enough, I do believe I've done it several times. Yeah. Some of the dogs I've got, some of the best dogs I've gotten, some of the good malinois I've gotten them from other breeders. I don't even want to know the background of the dog.
Yeah.
If they send me the video, I say, okay, send him, I'll take him. Years and years ago, I used to have people, they would find my number and say, John, I heard you like those strong dogs. Yeah. Well, this is what I got. I'll give them to you. I even pay to ship the dog to you. And they have all kind of problems. Well, I'll get the dog and I will just work him through those problems. Might be a year.
Right.
I'll make a video and send them the video back and say, that ain't the same dog. I say, yeah, again, that's him.
Yeah.
But everybody nowadays, a lot of people out, they want instant results. And that's where the problem comes in.
Microwave.
microwave effect, man. That's what they
Yeah,
want. Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
Man, this
but
was
yeah, man,
great.
I enjoyed it, man. If whenever we can schedule another one, man, let me know. I'll be ready to roll, man. So
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
mean to go get so long-winded sometimes on it, but I'm so passionate about dog training and at different levels. I've seen it at the backyard level, like some people call it,
Yeah.
until the one of the guys that started PSA, Joe Morris, he passed. I met him in Florida down by Ivan Blevinov's place. That was 20 something, over 20, 24, 25 years ago when PSA was just kind of getting going good.
Wow.
So one of the founders of PSA, met him. Ivan Blevinov invited me to his house to train with him at that trial they had down there.
Wow.
You know, some of the other people I met, you know, and then some of those people, I'm thinking they're at this level, and I go to meet them, I go see them. I'm like, that's it. I'm expecting something to blow me away.
Yeah.
Saying that's it, man. I've been doing that shit since I was 10.
Yeah.
You know, with scatterbred dogs I find in the neighborhood, mutts.
Right.
I can take a mutt, and if you treat a mutt the right way, like that movie Trading Places that Eddie Murphy made,
Mm-hmm.
you take a mutt and you present the game to him a certain way and keep him in line. And every time he tries to get out of line, you tighten him back up. You know, make the correction, keep him going the right direction. He can't help but to start thinking the right way.
Right. Yeah.
Yep, I've seen it. I've done it time and time and time again, man. Time and
Yeah.
time again. Yep. But
Yeah. Like I
yeah, man,
said,
I enjoyed it. If somebody got questions, man, they can call and ask or
absolutely
whatever. And
call.
I don't mind talking to them. If you got some questions or something, man, we'll talk. We'll stay in touch
Okay.
after this, man. And I'm gonna see you some of the pictures and videos I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Definitely. I'll enjoy that.
I like to back up the stuff I say. You
Yeah.
know, just so you'll see it, man, and all that good stuff. So I do appreciate you having me on, man. I
Absolutely.
hope I helped some people out with some information, maybe cleared up some stuff for them.
Yeah.
If not, if they got some more questions, they're welcome to call me. I don't mind talking. So
Okay. Where can the people find you at?
they can find me on Facebook under John Mims. Find me on TikTok under K9 Mims. And my phone number is 225-200-9162. I've been having YouTube. I've had 3 or 4 pages, but I think it's under Top Dog K9
Okay.
on YouTube. Instagram
Okay.
is under John Mims or K9 Mims. I don't even remember which one. I don't get a lot of traffic on Instagram for some reason. Maybe I don't talk, they talk. I think that's what it is. I
Maybe.
don't talk,
Yeah.
they talk. I'm
Yeah.
too straightforward for them. So a lot of people don't like me that's on Instagram. You know, I get a
Right.
lot on TikTok and Facebook, you know.
Yeah.
I got a group on Facebook. It's called Real Life Working Dogs
Okay.
on Facebook. Real Life Working Dogs. I got over 10,000 people in that group. Little old
Wow.
me. That's what I tell people. Little old me.
Little old me.
I
Yeah.
got a group on there with over 10,000 people, and it's sometimes I'll get 20, 30 people a day asking to get in that group.
Wow.
There's no fussing, no arguing in that group. If somebody, you know, every now and then, you know, I accept somebody got a good profile, so I accept it. It's actually spam.
Yeah.
As soon as I see it, I go in, I take it off. We keep it clean. A lot of people post videos on there. They're learning and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's what I made it for. You know,
Okay.
not so much as the sport people, but they got sport people on there. It's
Right.
called Real Life Working Dog. If that's what they do in real life, post the videos. They
Right.
got questions, ask. We'll try to get it answered, you know?
Yeah.
So, yep. But I do appreciate you, man. I thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're gonna do a part 2. I don't know when, but yeah, y'all go follow Mr. Mims, subscribe, share, comment, all that on this video. I got a new protection workshop video. I did a recap on it that I went to yesterday. So y'all check that out. And yeah, I'll see y'all when I see y'all.
All right, good deal, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Mr. Mims.
All righty, bye-bye.